Yes, guys, and welcome back to another episode of London Calling Show. This is the second episode we're doing this today, guys. Of course, every Friday we do go through the London clubs situations and their results and everything to do with their club, pretty much, guys. Welcome everyone back to the show. Of course, make sure you guys sub to the panel. Everyone who's on tonight, I will be leaving the links all in the description down below. Go and show them support, follow them on social media, all that stuff. And yeah, we'll be diving into Chelsea getting absolutely embarrassed and smoked by Liverpool. We'll be going through that game. The massive game, title decider for me. I'm sure for many people, Arsenal against Liverpool at the Emirates. We're talking about Tottenham as well. West Ham, obviously, last night, dropping 2 points. Calvin Phillips making his debut. Didn't really go to plan. And we're also going to be diving into a bit about Brentford as well. We do have a few people... they will be joining later on, guys. They are running a bit late because they're on other shows at the moment. But yeah, they will be joining us soon. But let's introduce the panel. And I think we should start. Look, Arsenal and Tottenham, yeah, we're massive rivals. But what will happen about this guy here, yeah, is he keeps things real. He speaks the facts. And look, Tottenham fans, you're a bunch of mugs, yeah, I'm not going to lie. But not this guy, yeah. This guy can actually sit there and actually respect because he says it how it is. We're joined by my man. And I've got him on for the preview early on this season. You guys will remember him from there. Robbie from Lily White Lane. Big up yourself, man. How are you? You all good?
Yeah, not bad, Josh, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Honestly, pleasure to have you on as always. And we'll be going through
Excellent.
your game last night, the whole Mopai versus
I
Madison.
am very glad. I'll tell you what, when I knew I was doing this show this Friday, I was very, very glad that Spurs won. Because otherwise, I'd just be surrounded by Arsenal and Chelsea fans talking about Spurs lost to a team like Brentford. But thankfully, we got the win in the end, and Mopay got humbled. And I'm sure we'll speak a little bit more on him as the show goes on.
Of course, man. Thank you very much for obviously taking time out to come on, bro. Really do appreciate it. We're also going to be joined by as well a few Chelsea fans, but we've got, and I know I respect for them for actually coming on because I know half of them will be hiding after getting battered by Liverpool 4-1 at Anfield. We're joined by an absolute real one as always. He came on the preview early on in the season. JPT from Keeping It Real with Keeping It Real Chelsea. JPT, bro, I would ask how you're doing, man. Chelsea side of things, but you all good personally, bro, other than Chelsea.
Yeah, man, it's a game where you crying, but you know what? I got one eyeball crying in one Champions League trophy and the other one crying in the other. But it's all good. We move on. Hey, Liverpool at home is the house of pain, and I see why. But yeah, it's just move on. It's a game that's already lost, and end of the day, it just puts a little bit more difficult for the Arsenal trying to catch up for the season. But little silver lining. But glad to be back. It's been a while, Josh. So thanks for having me back here, man.
Yeah, no worries, bro. You're always welcome. Absolute pleasure every single time. We've also got my fellow Arsenal fan, Rory, with us as always. How you doing, Rory? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Looking forward to this weekend. Title clash, innit? Like, I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, man. As you said, I'm excited. I'm nervous, but massive game. And we'll be talking more about that later on in the show. Big up everyone in the chat as always. All the real ones. We've got Ade inside, Luca, Saliba, Static, Charlton Fan TV, London Calling. Yeah, bro. I named it after you. Of course I did. Banning Son as well, as always, man. Big up London Calling and Jordan as well. Big up everyone. As always, guys, links to the panel will be in the description after this. Go and drop them some support. Sub to them if you haven't already. They're all real ones. And there will be a few more people joining us shortly as well. I think we should start with Chelsea, obviously, against Liverpool. Absolutely battering 4-1 at Anfield. And JPC, bro, what went wrong for you lot personally at Anfield, bro?
I mean, everything from the start, wrong tactics, no striker. We had Broja on the bench. We know why now. He could piss off down the lane, down to Fulham. He's gonna win nothing there. But it's 6 months gone. We got 750K for the guy. Just bring him back in one piece. His knees are already, still recovering. Besides that, Poch tactics got it wrong because Caicedo left stranded in the middle, trying to play around, play from the back. It wasn't working. And but yeah, it's when you have that lineup in Gallagher as well. Spurs still want him to take him because it's like I'll say this: he's a squad player at best. People who are just wanting to stay because he's Cobham, Chelsea, proper Chelsea. Keep all that. I that doesn't mean anything to me if you're not putting anything on the pitch. But hey, work rate merchants showed again, and yeah, defensive lineup questionable. Chilwell, my God, if we're not in the market for looking for a left back or for looking for a true striker, this is going to be a long day because if it's not him, we let go of Matson to Dortmund, and Jesus, I don't want Cucurella playing left back for us again this season. So big gaps still. I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, I'm looking at the game. Nunez was Chelsea's best player, without a doubt. And if it wasn't for hitting the woodwork, he hit the post more than the stripper has, as I was saying in the game, and he was just crap. But you know what? He's a good, striker to and Petrovic was the only silver lining. In Kuku's goal, I didn't care. Like, it's good goal, great, but too little, too late. And so respect to Nkuku, Gusto also came well off the bench. But yeah, that was it. We're looking on to Wolves now, and hopefully we don't get any thinner up top with now that we're down a striker.
Yeah, no, for real. About Nkunku though, is the guy the reason why he's not been signed is because he's still not fully fit or something?
This was his first game back, I think, since his re-injury, and also wasn't any reason for him to start in a game because since it's a league game, we're not gonna realistically we're not gonna win the league or put a challenge. So I didn't see the point of him coming off the bench. Same with Gusto, because had they been injured, Poch would have been chased out of the stadium, risking their health after they just came back. But I would say maybe you'll see a little bit more and more still getting minutes. I would be surprised if he plays 60 minutes. I would rather just have him play for 20. Jackson's back now, so he's going to be playing as a striker, and Palmer can play as a 10 because Palmer, as cold as he is not a false 9. He cannot play striker. Just keep him as a 10 or have him be on the right wing, but that's it.
Yeah. Look, obviously you spoke about the tactics with Poch. I mean, I've seen quite a lot of your fans. They want him gone already, bro.
Mm-hmm.
When Mourinho left their throne, where they're like, "Oh, get Mourinho back." What's your thoughts on all that? Are you one of those fans who want Poch to? Do you think Poch needs more time? Do you think he's not the right man to take you forward? And plus, what's your thoughts on obviously Mourinho? Those fans want him back.
I mean, first the fans got to realize it's not the same Jose from if they're thinking that he's going to be the one from when he first came in or the second time or even Man U, Mourinho. If it's Spurs Mourinho, good luck. But I wouldn't be all too surprised if he does come back because why not have the manager that these kids supposedly grew up watching and respecting and becoming Victor Chelsea fan as a kid. Why not, play for the manager that you grew up watching? But Poch, man, he went back to hexagonal or football Lampard tactics, and it wasn't working. We can't leave Caicedo alone in the midfield like that. Gallagher, again, this was where he would let them left to dry, and then Enzo was pushed more forward up. So, like I said, I think it was strange because we haven't seen that in the whole season. So I wasn't sure if this was just a game that he approached it as, let's see if this works. So let's just see if Caicedo can be a single pivot, and clearly it didn't. Like I said, he could have approached the game as a one-off because the league's done. So why not see what can we do when we see them in the cup final? Yeah. I expect a crazy result that Chelsea's going to batter Liverpool. No, you can take Liverpool away from Anfield. They're still a top team playing for a top manager who is already announced that he's seen the exit at the end of the season. So they're going to do everything they can to make sure he leaves on a positive note. But yeah, really, really surprised with how Poch approached the game in that day.
No, 100% agree with you there, man. 100%. I want to ask the other panel. I mean, Chelsea, they got absolutely battered at Anfield. I mean, I'll come to you, Rory, first. I mean, we've been there as Arsenal fans, going to Anfield, getting piped 5-1s, 4-0s. But what do you make of this? Once again, is it just typical Chelsea, this type of performance and result this season?
Well, yeah, I've got a feeling that losing will be Chelsea's slogan this season. I can't lie, and it's just it's gone down the wrong route, isn't it? In fact, it's gone down a worse route than it was last season. You could say last season that they were in the first year of the Todd Bowley reign, and they only had 2 windows, but now. We go into this season, he's had a whole summer, he had a whole January, and I'm surprised that he hasn't spent more money, to be honest. And maybe it's better off for him not to spend another penny, because obviously we know he doesn't know what he's doing. But look, Liverpool dominated from start to finish. Although I thought Chelsea got very unlucky with the 2 penalty decisions. I thought both of them were blatant penalties. But still, we could then make an excuse that Arsenal lost against West Ham because the ball went out of play. So it swings and roundabouts. But at the end of the day, look, as I said, Liverpool deserved to win the game. And if it wasn't for Núñez missing the chances, I think it could have been a cricket score. I can't lie. I guess their best players, Chelsea, I'm talking about, is probably Petrovic in goal and Nkunku when he came on. Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, 100 million. In fact, 200 million they spent on them 2 combined. And I'm sitting there like, what do they really do? Because I know like Caicedo is young and that, and look, I think he will turn out to be a good player. But 115 million on that kid, man, I don't know. Although he's been set up to fail, I'm not here to argue that he has been set up to fail. Pochettino, I mean, bro, I don't know what to say. He won naff all at PSG. I don't know how you expect him to win anything at Chelsea, to be honest. So I think he's a guy that you've got to get rid of, either at the end of the season or straight after that Carabao Cup final. I wouldn't obviously sack him before a final, like that's stupid. So
that's what Spurs did with Mourinho, isn't it,
yeah,
Robbie?
yeah.
Honestly,
Although
don't start me on that.
sacking
That
him
was
before
crazy.
the final. Yeah, Mourinho's a winner, unlike Pochettino. So I think Chelsea are better off sacking him before the final than Tottenham did, a couple seasons back. Mudryk, obviously, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna come on here and start slating him too much. But at what point do you have uncomfortable conversations about him? You can say he's young all you want and he has raw potential, but he's the same age as Vinicius Junior, mate.
Oh,
And
come
roughly play in the
on.
wrong position. Sorry, they play in the same position. He's older than Saka.
And who's
So
the
at
manager
what point-
and what team is he playing for right now?
Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day,
And what
Pepe
league?
was playing in a really poor Arsenal team, yet it didn't stop everyone calling him a flop.
He wasn't. That's the thing. He wasn't given the. I mean, Pepe. If people say that Pepe was a flop, every time he came off the bench, it would just he gave a performance where it was he should have started. I forgot what game it was, like the season before he left, where he came off the bench and I think he scored like a goal or 2, and it looked like he was being the difference maker. But it was just the system didn't suit him. But yeah, it's also too like the prices of these players are just ridiculous. No way in hell Caicedo is worth. Even when Liverpool were going after him at 110 mil, it's like these prices on these players are overinflated. There's no Caicedo. We wanted him for 80, but then of course Brian just knows how to like we'll just wait and wait because we know you guys are gonna throw the money at Brian. It's happened so many times from Chelsea. Like we are literally funding them. I think this better be a tax write-off with all the donations we've been giving to goddamn Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not blaming Mudryk. Obviously, he didn't even want to move to Chelsea in the first place. His eyes were set on Arsenal. But when you spend 100 million and you've not excelled for, over a year now, surely you've got to start asking questions, especially when you've got players at that age performing. As I said, he's pretty much the same age as Vinicius Junior, and he's older than Bukayo Saka. Yet Saka, at a younger age, was doing more than what Mudryk has ever done, really.
One season.
But that's just me. I feel like you've got to start. I wouldn't say throw all of, you know, your toys out of the pram about Mudryk. Yeah, it's all his fault. I'm not blaming him whatsoever. It's not his fault. Like it was with Pepe, all right? It wasn't his fault, but it never worked out because he hardly got the chance at Arsenal despite playing in a poor team. I think if people give the same attitude to Pepe, then you've got to do the same with Mudryk. Especially when you're expecting a Chelsea side after spending £1 billion, surely a player like that is supposed to, you know, kick them on. I don't know about you, but I feel like he's a guy that you may need to send out on loan or just cut your losses and get rid. But look, as I said, it wasn't his fault, obviously. Like what's happening at Chelsea at the moment. I feel like Sterling as well, like he had a great purple patch at the start of the season, but ever since that Luton game or Newcastle where he scored that insane free kick, he's not been the same either. And I know Chelsea fans don't really rate him too much anyway, but I thought he was playing all right at the start of the season and then he dipped as well. Overall, I just don't understand, you know, Pochettino's approach. It's similar to what Arteta has been doing recently, overcomplicating things, not playing a striker. Remember the times where Mikel Arteta started Smith Rowe as a false nine in the Europa League semi-final? I feel like Pochettino's doing it week in, week out. You had Broja on the bench, who is an out-and-out striker. And yeah, he may not be, you know, the best striker. And look, Liverpool have arguably the best defence in the league. But at least play Palmer when he is, like, where he is more effective. You know what I'm saying? So he can do his thing. But if you're moving him out of position to play as a false nine, it's basically like us playing Odegaard up top.
Exactly.
That's facts.
Exactly. But now we see why, like, you know, as I said, Broja had this move to Fulham, never been in the talks. Do you think he would have started that game? Because we saw what happened the next day.
Probably not.
So you think Palmer starts regardless?
Yeah, but still, I feel like I'll be more comfortable. Say if I was a Chelsea fan and I looked at that team, I would be more comfortable seeing a striker up there, an out-and-out striker.
Yeah.
Than Palmer, who's going to always drop deep in his natural position anyway. So who do you have up top?
Exactly. We didn't have an outlet up top. You know, that's the thing. Broja, he can lead the line well. It's just that, you know, with Jackson off to the AFCON, and, you know, a lot of people were hoping that he was going to do the Williams thing and, like, oh, just play the same day. I'll take a flight and come off the bench. Have Broja, if this talks with Broja never happened to Fulham and these deals were just shut down as soon as possible, I think he does start. But of course we can't tell, because what if he were to pick up an injury? Now that deal's off the table. And it's not like it was a big wage, but it's at $750K to possibly go up to $4 million at the end of the loan. That's why I'm saying, like, they were probably had their hands tied and literally had no striker. I mean, if it's not Jackson, it's Broja. If it's not Broja, it's Washington. So, like, and you're really going to put David Washington versus the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like, and I mean, who would have thought that the January, and this is, you know, off topic, but the January has just been quiet compared to from like the big six clubs or even most of the clubs. Who was it the one that made the most signings? Forest, who just said screw FFP, and then Bournemouth made a couple moves. West Ham made moves, and that was it.
We made a couple.
Tottenham as well.
Yeah, Tottenham as well. They stole the deal from Barca. I can't remember the guy's name, starts with a B, but I didn't see that coming.
Bergevall, I think it was, the Swedish kid. Yeah.
Good. It was a good sign. And then did you bring in Radu in January?
Werner and Dragazin, yeah.
Yeah.
Dragazin,
Early on. and those were great signings. Timo was a bit strange, but I get why, if he was coming on to help fill up the spot for Son, since he's in the Asian Cup. But yeah, it was fairly quiet and not as crazy spending all around as everyone would expect.
Yeah. I want to come to Robbie,
By the way,
bro.
what happens to Amari Hutchinson as well?
Oh, he's just playing with the, I think it's
Youth,
under
yeah.
21s, under 22s, whatever. Yeah.
Surely it can't be worse.
Then does he play as a CM?
Nah, striker.
He's a striker.
Is he a striker?
I thought he was a center mid.
I thought he was a centre mid.
Either way, you want to put Amari Hutchinson versus Van Dijk?
No, I'm not saying play him at Anfield. I'm just saying right now, in the current situation you're in, he can't do worse, surely. Because you have Jackson out for AFCON, although
he's back now. That's why people thought he might be like, oh, is he going to come back and start? It's like, he's just tired. Let him rest.
Yeah.
You can't treat him like Saka.
Yeah.
He deserves a day's rest. But you know what? It is what it is. But no, I don't think Amari Hutchinson would be a good idea to bring back so quickly, because then we're going to get criticized like you're expecting these kids to do too much and too soon.
Yeah, I want to come to Robbie. Robbie, bro. Obviously, Chelsea were absolutely battered by Liverpool, 4-1. Of course, Liverpool completely destroyed them. What's your thoughts on Chelsea's situation this season, man? Obviously, they got your ex-manager Poch in charge. Do you think it's an issue, or do you think it goes bigger than just the manager? What do you think, bro?
I think there's a lot of issues at Chelsea. I think player power for a few years has been an issue when Tuchel was there. I still look back at the sacking of Tuchel and question that. I think the ownership model that they've got right now isn't good. I think the players are to blame for the performances they're putting in. And I think Poch has to take some blame as well. Some of the decisions and substitutions I've seen him make in games and ways, he's managed games has been, I haven't been able to understand it. I haven't been able to process it. But I think with Chelsea, as I say, I only saw the second half against Liverpool because I was watching the Spurs game. And they just looked so flat. They really did. And look, I understand the 2 penalty claims, but even if both were given at different times in the game, I'm not sure it would have made that much of a difference. I think they were dominated over the course of the 90. I think at the second 45, especially that I watched, they just looked really flat. And I think, okay, go to Anfield, lose. You can be proud of your team if they go there and put in a performance and really give it a go with the form that Liverpool are on and the side they are. But Chelsea just looked so poor. They really did look so poor. And Liverpool just all over them. I think Liverpool, they haven't been given enough praise over the course of the season, in my opinion. A lot of people talking about Man City coming back to top Arsenal at the beginning of the season. Only recently have people really started talking about Liverpool because of the Klopp news and over the last few weeks. And they've been on some run recently. Only one loss against us, and I'll be the first to hold my hands up and say that was a complete and utter daylight robbery. But yeah, Liverpool on great form. I just think there's so many issues at Chelsea. I really do. Pochettino, look, the thing is with Pochettino at Tottenham, right? He did the hard bit for me. The hardest bit was changing the squad around. A squad full of players like Ben Taleb, 34-year-old Michael Dawson, players who just weren't good enough. He brought in exciting young talent and turned them into quality players. And then all he had to go and do with that talent, as I say, once he moved us from, Europa League places to consistent Champions League finishes, is get that trophy. And he just couldn't do it at Tottenham. Do I think he'll win a trophy at Chelsea? Maybe, because it's a different culture at that club when it comes to winning stuff, even I'll admit that. But I don't understand really what's going on at Chelsea. And I don't think it's fair to pinpoint it on Pochettino, to pinpoint it on the players, to pinpoint it all on one specific person. I think there's a collective of issues that have led to why they're mid-table right now and look like they're not going anywhere. But, if they somehow manage to get a Europa League spot, which I can't see, and win the Carabao Cup, I think, yes, you spent a lot of money, but in phase 1 of the rebuild, I think you'd say it's a decent season. But I'm not sure they will against this Liverpool side after what I saw at Anfield. And knowing Pochettino as well and the way they've been playing this season, I can't see them getting into the Europa League. I just think there's so many issues at that football club. And to talk about Jose Mourinho, look, I understand that he achieved a lot at Chelsea. But Jose, as I say, at Roma, yes, he won a trophy, but that went downhill the last season. At Tottenham, I think I can't blame him at Spurs. He wasn't backed properly. If he was backed with money like Big Ange has been, it would have been a different story. But you've got a squad full of Pochettino players who, have grown up playing the attacking style of play, who are, within the range of 18 to 24. You suddenly bring in a defensive manager and ask all of these players to change the way that they're playing and the style they were brought into playing. It's not going to work, in my opinion. I think if they're going to sack Pochettino, Chelsea, they need to go in for a manager who at least plays a similar style of play. Because you've got all of these young players tied down to 8 or 9 year contracts who are Pochettino players. But a lot of Chelsea fans are going to learn more about their club than me, obviously. I just think there's a collective of issues right there. Pochettino is one of them. Bowley's one of them. The players one of them. I think there's just so many problems at Chelsea.
No, 100% facts. Look, for me, right, look, with I said I think this situation with Chelsea goes bigger than just manager. I feel like, look, Poch, when he was at you lot, he got you obviously Champions League final, didn't he? And he got you to the I think he had you in the title race that season as well. So like you said, he just couldn't get over the line. Look, they are in a Carabao Cup final, so could he possibly win them a League Cup? We'll have to wait and see. But I feel like Poch, if Chelsea want to win league titles and go compete for Champions League, I don't think he's the right guy. But they want to get back, to say, the top 4 area. I think Poch can sort of get them around top 4, in my opinion, and then maybe go and get a manager who can go and compete for the big honors. But I do agree as well, Robbie, bro. They need, if they were to ever get rid of Poch, which I don't see them doing yet, if they were to ever get rid of him, they will need a similar manager who plays the same style of play with and can actually accommodate the players that they have now. Because, I mean, you look at how much they spent on these players. I reckon these young players, I said it last week about them, yeah? These players, they can be good in the next, they've got potential, yeah, to be good in the next 4 or 5 years. You got lots of Caicedo in there at a high rate. Cole Palmer's doing bits for them this season. He's been best out of bad bunch, really. And Kunku looked pretty well when he came on the bench. I mean, they've got good, I actually rate Gusto as well. They've got some good players there, man. But yeah, look, I think it's an overall problem at Chelsea. There's lots of factors that we could talk about on why they're having, such a horrendous season. But on Mourinho, guys, would you say he's a finished manager, Jose Mourinho?
Not finished, but if you're expecting to be the same Jose, then no.
I think he's finished being at the top level as he was before. He's not that Real Madrid Jose, Chelsea first time Jose. He's not the special one anymore. I think, could he come to a club and do a good job if he was given the tools? Yes, but will he be expected to, win trophies with clubs that aren't expected to, or achieve, things that don't look like they're achievable at a time, like getting Chelsea into the Champions League or winning something with this Chelsea team right now? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
What about you, Roy? Because we had this talk about Mourinho on a few shows ago.
Yeah, I've always said I would take him at Arsenal, and you can say park the bus, crap and all of that, but at the end of the day, he is a winner, and I think that's who we need. There's no way Arsenal Football Club should be going without, an experienced manager who wins things. All right. Yeah, he may have got Roma 9th before he got sacked. But at the end of the day, right, he won. Sorry, he didn't win. He reached back-to-back European finals with a Roma side that he had barely any money to spend. And I just feel like if he was given the 600 million that Arteta has got given over the last, 4 years, I think we would have at least won more than one trophy. And yeah, you can say he's not the same Jose Mourinho. Like, at the end of the day, he reached a Carabao Cup final with Tottenham, which isn't, frequent these days. You've got him doing the same with Roma. He won the Champions League with Porto twice. I know that was in the past, but, Porto. I just think with this Arsenal side and the players we have, yes, we may play defensive football, and we may have to, retreat, deal with, us not playing this expansive brand of football. But we've got players to play that sort of Jose Mourinho style football. We do have pace on the counter-attack, and if we had a striker to that solution, because I believe for a decent spell around 4 or 5 months, where Tottenham were top of the league in 2020, 21. They had Kane and Son, and you saw the effect there because Son was obviously clinical. You have Kane, who is obviously one of the best strikers in the world. So if you add, I guess, a quality striker to that Arsenal team, and we play that Mourinho style of football, we could see glimpses of what Mourinho could do, and glimpses of, Mourinho maybe becoming the manager he once was. But I don't know. I wouldn't say I'll take him long term, maybe for a season or two, because at the moment we haven't won anything in 4 years, and we can't afford to have this same, downfall of, let's wait a little longer because it's a process. Nah, man, trophies have got to come now. That's all I'm going to say. Trophies have got to come now, and if it doesn't happen this season or even next season, then you've got to start looking at our current manager situation.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
But what about for a team like Chelsea? Is it a fact that they're in a project or like a process? Should they be more patient, or should they, be like us and demand trophies for this season?
I don't know. I mean, if you're Chelsea, you would take anyone at the moment, would you? Like, I think anyone can't be worse than a Pochettino, Potter, even Lampard on an interim, which obviously no one could understand. I think all it takes for Chelsea is to rebuild that whole back line, because I feel like they've been relying on Thiago Silva a lot. And bless him, but he's nearly 40. He's going to be on a mobility scooter soon. So you're going to have to replace him at some point. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Badiashile has got potential, but I don't think he's there yet. And furthermore, he's actually injury prone. So I think you may need to sign a top centre half to obviously play that Mourinho football. And look, again, Chelsea have pace on the counter-attack. And I feel like, with Mudryk, as I said, he's got pace. I think Sterling is pretty quick as well. They have quick players on the counter-attack, and Kunku as well. I think Mourinho could benefit Chelsea more than Arsenal, don't get me wrong. But look, I think if he goes to a club, if his next Premier League move is, a club with a pacey attack and a decent foundation at the back, I think he could succeed at any Premier League club. But if he doesn't have, good players at his disposal, similar to Conte, if he doesn't have good players at his disposal, then he fails. Let's be honest here. As I said, Mourinho got to a final with Tottenham with Højbjerg and Ndombele. You've seen the shape of him right now. He's playing at Galatasaray. He's still on loan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think obviously Mourinho's not going to be great for a rebuild. That's all I'm going to say. It's just on a short term where we need to get ourselves back on track in terms of winning trophies. I'm not saying we're not on track now, but we need to get on track when it comes to winning trophies, because we haven't won a trophy in 4 years. We've won 1 in 16, which just isn't good enough when your name is Arsenal Football Club. So I look at the bigger picture and go, you know what? He's a winner. He actually did well at Roma, won back-to-back. I keep saying it. He reached back-to-back finals with Roma and won one of them. Yeah, I know it's the Conference League, but at the end of the day, if you're in it, just go on to win it, because say if you get knocked out, then you're worse than the majority of the teams that are in the Conference League. And at the end of the day, it's a trophy in Europe. So, look, I know he didn't win the Europa League, but at the end of the day, who doesn't lose to Sevilla in Europa League nowadays?
And that was from the refs. And that was from the refs. Sorry to cut you off. That was from the refs' decision too. If you remember that game.
Yeah.
You waited for him in the parking lot. That's a gangster move, man. Just waiting for him, like. That's why you gotta love Jose.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you an opportunity to win something.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he's definitely a character, Jose. He'll always be a character. Some of the moments and references. Even when he was playing for us, remember he just sat there all calm, and his assistant said something. He slams the water bottle down, and just sprints over to the referee. Yeah, and no, it goes from like 1 to 10 in about 5 seconds, and starts screaming. I mean, he'll always be a character who has those moments. I actually think he probably worked better at Arsenal. I think you're looking at Saka and Martinelli got those wings, pacey, quick players, Rice who can hold up the midfield. You know, Saliba and Gabriel, 2 very solid centre backs. I think Jose could come into that team and work quicker and achieve more quicker than he could taking over that Chelsea side.
No, absolute facts.
Yeah.
I want to come to
strengthen that defence as well, because I still maintain that our fullbacks can't really defend, and you know,
it's just your left back.
Yeah. Bro.
I mean, Danny Blanco's been fine, but Zinni has been shit, man, respectfully.
Yeah, and look, everything else, he's brilliant in terms of inverting. He's a great passer, but he's not a defender. There's a reason why he does play midfield for Ukraine. And he's captain of Ukraine as well. And the thing is, he always gets caught with that ball over the top. I think that really does get on my grinds with Zinchenko. He doesn't learn. Every time we concede a goal, it comes down his side, which is jarring, mate. Because look, I'm not blaming him because he's not a left back, and it's because Pepper's done it. Arteta suddenly thinks, yeah, I think he's the go-to at left back. There's a reason why Timber actually played the majority of the games in pre-season. I know Zinchenko was carrying an injury, but still, we were a lot more solid with Timber as the left back than we were with Zinchenko.
For me, yeah. When Timber's fully fit, he goes straight back in left back for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I said, like, he always gets caught with the ball over the top. 3 times it's happened. West Ham in the Carabao Cup, Liverpool at Anfield, and the other day against Forest. And I know you may blame Saliba for that goal, but at the same time, that ball does not end up over the top and Zinchenko does not get caught out of position. But other than that, he actually plays well. It's just... It's similar to what Ramsdale said in his interview not so long ago. I can't concentrate for 90 minutes. That should be Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko doesn't concentrate the majority of the time for 90 minutes. Obviously, I don't know what it is. He's not quick, and he is predominantly a midfielder, and he should be playing in that 8 role. I don't understand it. Like, we love to accommodate Havertz because we spent 65 million on him, yet we have our best midfielder who can easily slot alongside Declan Rice playing as a left back. And I know Tomiyasu's out injured, and we have no one else to play as the left back, but no one made the decision to loan out Kieran Tierney other than Mikel Arteta. He should not be going out on loan. Why is he on loan for? And I know he's injury prone, but you keep him as, adequate cover. You don't send him out on loan, and then you can use a Zinchenko in midfield. I don't know. It's not rocket science, and hopefully with Timber coming back from injury, I don't, for me personally, look at that and go, yeah, he's going to kick us on from now until the end of the season. I look at Timber and go, you know what? He's a player that I'm looking forward to next season. because he's been out for, 6 months now? A long time. Thomas Partey, I mean, like, what the fuck? I don't know what's going on. How do you pull up after returning back to training without even bloody playing a minute? Like, I understood, him not being in the squad against Forest because we want to slowly ease him in. But why? What are we doing in training? Are we asking our players to jump from 12 feet ledges? Like, come on. I don't know why we are so bad when it comes to our training methods. I really don't understand. And this partly comes down to the manager, because is he telling these players to train a little bit too hot? What is he doing? I can't really explain what our training methods are in terms of running and, how long we bloody train for. Obviously, we need to train hard for big games especially, but I just don't understand why we pick up so many damn injuries to important players as well. It's really annoying.
No, 100%. Before we move on Couldn't Come JBT, obviously you got a game against Wolves Sunday at the Stamford Bridge. How are you feeling going into this game, man?
I feel pretty decent. If we start off with with Nkunku as our all-out striker, even though I would prefer him to be as a 10, we could put him there, or even Jackson and Nkunku could finally see them connecting again, and Palmer on the right. The main concern really is Neto on that team and Cunha, because they look like they've been clicking, and I think South Korea is still in the Asian Cup unless they had a game today, which
They won. Yeah, they won today.
The longer they stay out, good, because Hwang he's kind of balling out there. Respectfully to him, like, they got a good thing going on, especially with the manager running the team well. But I would say the biggest weakness for them right now would probably be their defense. They had all their attack, the midfield is good, but I think you're going to get a different result since it's not at the Molineux. We saw how they treat teams there. They treated us like crap over there. So be back home. I do have a bit of confidence with this one. If we're doing score predictions, I would say 2-1 to Chelsea. So but the main thing is that just please, for the love of God, no more injuries. I know Rory is pissed off with injuries, man. Everything he was saying about Partey, I'm just like, every Chelsea fan is just thinking Fofana. This is exactly what is going on, because he gets another injury and don't know what's going on at the training sessions. It's everyone is going through injury issues, but my God, I think I've seen Fofana maybe once.
What about Reece James as well? How many times did that guy get injured?
Oh,
that's because he's never got the surgery, and then now he's finally did, which I kept saying, why didn't he get the surgery when the season was written off last season with Potter? That you could have gotten the surgery, wait your 6 to 8 months. You're just coming back in time for the start of the season. Why did you wait? But everyone's saying, well, no one's a medical expert. You can't say that he's worried about his career. Yeah, what career are you really having by being on the hospital bed? For what? The season is like a year long. He's in the hospital bed, or he's out of the hospital bed, maybe 30 days. Maybe, that's being generous. But just it's how Rory was saying. I don't know what's going on in the training sessions where these injuries keep getting worse, or there's a setback. I'm just tired of it. I want to know what's going on, and also too what's going on with the medical staff, because they're also to blame too, for both Chelsea and Arsenal, because these players are just either they're not getting evaluated right, or they're getting to come back too soon. That might be more for us, because I'm not sure if any of your injured players come off shortly after returning.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro, 100%. And yeah, as you said, man, we're feeling it right now with Partey in this injury every single time. This guy, I mean, and I was one of those, and I think Rory was, when Arne said, he's back in full training, we was all getting hyped up because this guy's the most important player with Arsenal, in my opinion. But once again, this guy's injured. It's so
I
frustrating.
think every club has one of those players, though. Don't
Yeah.
you? We've got Ben Santo as well, who just seems to be injured more than he is playing at the minute.
But as far as for Partey, it's conspiracy theory coming out. Do you think he's really injured, or do you think he just seen out so he can go play Saudi Arabia?
I mean, it could be something behind the scenes, obviously, because he's dealt with a couple of personal issues, especially last year. He's been receiving a lot of abuse because of what happened with. I'm not obviously going to go full detail into it, but it may be a case of that, or he just, I don't know. His hamstrings must be made out of cheddar cheese. I don't know, breadsticks. Just honest to God, I don't know what to say, because say if Thomas Partey was going to be fit for the Liverpool game, and especially with no Salah apparently, although I'm not trusting Klopp in the slightest, because obviously we all know with these Klopp mind games in it. So look, say if Thomas Partey was going to play against Liverpool at the weekend, especially with no CDM for Liverpool, I think we win. I mean, look, when Thomas Partey is fit, forget, he is the most important player in our team. I think he's arguably one of the best CDMs in the league. And I would almost argue, on Partey's day, he is a better player than Declan Rice, because Declan Rice can't exactly break the lines. He always loves to shift the ball to the right. And how good he is, I think he is more of an 8, where he can link up with Martinelli. And there's, more chance of him linking up with Martinelli down that left-hand side than Havertz will.
Yeah.
Because Havertz just, his brain just doesn't seem to compute sometimes. Whenever he has the ball, it takes him bloody 10 seconds to get the ball out of his feet. And I think it has ruined Martinelli this season. So maybe if we push Declan Rice further up the pitch, because we know he loves to spread passes to the right, that will encourage him, if he's playing as that left 8 role, to shift, the ball out to the left so he can link up with Martinelli more and make them runs in behind. With Partey, as I said, I think maybe he is the missing piece to how we played football last season, because we were arguably one of the most entertaining teams to watch in the Premier League. And I think a lot of that stemmed from Thomas Partey and the way he plays out from the back. Like you would notice, every time Ramsdale had the ball, Thomas Partey would almost, come short. And it would pick up the ball, turn on the sixpence, and then we push forward. Right now, with Declan Rice, I'm not saying he's not a great player. He is a brilliant player, and he's been excellent for Arsenal. Don't get it twisted. But I don't think when it comes to playing out from the back, he comes close to Thomas Partey. And I think that is partly the reason why, we are very slow in attack. Because Rice doesn't exactly turn on the sixpence as Thomas Partey does. Whenever a defender is on his shoulder. So I think Partey's desperately missed, and it's crazy that we've only seen it once this season, Partey, Rice and Odegaard, and that was in the Community Shield against City.
Yeah, it's mad, bro. But JPT, man, I know you gotta get going, bro. I want to thank you for obviously taking your time to come out on the show today, bro. Just shout out your channel and what you got anything coming up as well, content wise.
Keeping it real, Chelsea. Just like a chill, watch along for the Wolves game. Probably catch me there with my co-host Wolf of Wolfang Division. So we want to shout him out as well. And as far as from that, that's pretty much it, or at least what I have planned for right now. It's a little busy weekend, but I do appreciate coming there for bringing me back onto the show, Josh. So big up yourself and everyone in the chats. Big up Ade. I know he's been really active in the chat, so props to you. And Robbie, Rory, great talking with you guys today. Big up to each one of you.
Good to meet you, mate.
Same here, man. If you guys can, please send or put it in the chat. Your links for your channel so I can go and subscribe if you guys have channels or even Instagram pages. I always like to give the support whenever possible. But yeah, man, it was fun, good talk, and it's a shame. I wanted to talk more with Spurs because I feel like half of the conversation was Chelsea and the other half was Arsenal.
Yeah.
But of course, and I guess if we're gonna say anything about Spurs, respect to the win. They shut up Neil Maupay with his little. But you know what?
Don't start, mate. Honestly, don't start that. Mate.
Hey, I mean, I get respect. I love the shithousery from that type of player, but a little too early. But yeah.
Wait till he does it against your club, mate. That's all I'm saying. Wait till he does it against your club.
I'd rather him than Ivan Toney, man, because that guy's just gonna be wrecking havoc everywhere, anywhere he goes. But yeah, but it was fun, and I gotta go back to work. So big up and
big up JPT.
Make sure to hit. Thank you. Make sure to hit the likes, people, and I'll see you next time.
Take care, bro. All the best, man.
Yeah.
Big up JBC, guys. His link will be in the channel after we finish this, people. Everyone else's link will be in there as well. But yeah, let's move on to Robbie and Tottenham, bro. You guys did get the win. Beating Brentford's. Obviously, Brentford side with Ivan Toney back as well, in the team. And he scored again. There's 2-2 for him now. I'd love him at Arsenal, but that's a different story. But yeah. Darts, bro. What's going on there, man? Let me know all your thoughts on the game and yeah, Maupay as well. Lay it out, bro. Go on.
We'll get to Maupay in a second, right? I think first half, credit to Brentford, apart from him, obviously. I think they sussed us out really well, and I was worried in that first half that a lot of teams could do that. So that's the way to defend against Spurs, figure them out, sit back with the back three, as I say, play narrow defensively and make it tight. What we were doing so wrong in that first half is both of our fullbacks were so inverted and we just weren't breaking them down. We kept trying to play tricky little clever passes through the middle against the back three and a side that was defending so narrow. And it just wasn't working. And Brentford, as I say, fair play to them. Long ball over the top. That's what you need to do against our ridiculously high line. Ivan Toney had a strike. Maupay, as I say, we'll get to him in a second, scores a goal. Brentford heading 1-0 up, and I'm thinking, how are we going to get back into this game? But Ange Postecoglou, who I thought changed the game, he moved both wing backs, as I say, far more round wide, brought on Brennan Johnson, who injected some pace, Weebief a skip, who added some more sharpness into that midfield. And those first 7 minutes were some of the best 7 minutes I've seen of Spurs this season, or any football team in Premier League history. For some reason, we turned into Pep's Barcelona in those 7 minutes, scored 3 goals, and I thought, okay, lovely jubbly, Bob's your uncle, game's done and dusted, right? 3 points in the bag. But sort of started playing some sloppy passes again after that. Destiny Udogie, look, barely made, has made mistakes this season. He made one against West Ham. I don't know what he's doing with that, pass back. I mean, I don't care that, Ivan Toney's hiding behind the keeper. He's not a dwarf, is he? He's a massive bloke, literally wearing completely different colours behind the keeper. You pass it back. Brentford get back into it, and it was squeaky bum time at the end of that game. I was very worried that they could have got the draw, but as I say, Spurs a few years ago, I think they probably would have, but we got the 3 points. That's all that mattered. Now, Neil Maupay, right? I thought when I watched him a couple of years ago against Arsenal versus Brighton, I thought, this guy's just an absolute shithouse, isn't he? But it was quite funny because he did it against you lot. And it's funny until he does it against your club. And there's been shithouses that I can respect, right? Shithouses that are good players. Christian Romero is one of them. I'll admit it. Sergio Ramos, Pepe. Players like this, I say, who are wind up but can also deliver on the pitch. This guy has barely any ability to go on 33 games to score a goal. And he goes on like he's Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, doing Madison's dart celebration, then running past him. I was losing my head, lads. I'm not going to lie to you. I was losing my absolute head. At least his action was a little bit better than Bukayo Saka's, but I don't know what he was doing. And then second half, as I say, tore them to shreds. And of course, we were going to start doing the dart celebration. The whole team was doing the dart celebration. Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, and a bit back and forth between Maupay and Madison on Instagram and Twitter. But look, as I say, I don't want to get this video demonetized and swear my arse off. But honestly, I think it's funny when he does it against other clubs, but when he doesn't have the ability to back it up, and he goes on like that, and he's just the guy's a prick. There's no beating around the bush. I really, really, really deeply dislike the guy, and I would like to see him fail for the rest of his career. I'd like to see him flop at Brentford. I'd like to see him never score another goal. And yeah, hopefully we can get this idiot out of football as soon as possible. But look, as I say, happy with the win. That's all that matters. We've got a very tough game tomorrow. But yeah, as I say, it was even post match, I should have been happy about the game, but I was still fuming inside about Mopé and Brentford in that first half because they made it so difficult. And it was when he's grabbing the ball, rolling it around, going past Maddison, hugging him, as I say. But you're doing it in the 22nd minute. Fair enough, do it in the 90th minute, but far too early for any of that. Far too early for any of that. And he got humbled. Brentford, as I say, they're a good side. They are. I think they'll stay up quite comfortably now with Ivan Toney back. But yeah, it was good to get the win, the way the game evolved. It's one of those games where you come out of it scrappy at times, but the 3 points is what matters. Better performance, I think, than I won against Bournemouth and I won against City, which weren't great. So yeah, I was happy with that. Happy, just happy with the win, to be honest.
No, for sure, man. Also, you got Maddison back as well. You know, I said at the start of the season, that guy was what a signing, by the way. You know, you got him for 40 million as well, and
Very
it's
good
good to see
player.
him back. Obviously, Son's out with Asian Cup, isn't he, with South Korea? You know, they're doing
Yeah.
well. But yeah, as you said, I mean, going into the game, you got Everton away, Goodison Park. It's a very tough place to go to against Sean Dyche. What are you expecting, and how are you feeling going into that game tomorrow?
Look, I think when they came to our ground, they made it difficult for us. They actually attacked a lot more than I expect them to. But I think it's going to be a tough game. And I think I think Everton might look at what Brentford did in that first half and go, you know, that's the way to sort of hold them off, play narrow, and sort of stop that early surge from Spurs. Because we start running around in those first 5 minutes of the game like headless chickens, we're mental. So if they look at that Brentford first half performance, try and hold us off, I think that's what they may do. I think they're going to be more aggressive in their tackling, as I say, get the crowd up for it, try and counter-attack us. We've just got to be clinical with our chances because we will get them. They're not that great of a team. Yes, I know they're in the relegation zone and without points deduction, they're probably 12th, 13th, but still a mid-table club. And if we're serious about mounting a hunt for top four, these are the teams we need to be beaten, especially when you look at our April. And I think we've got like Anfield away, Manchester City and Arsenal at home, and Newcastle away. It's like 4 games in a row. I don't know the exact order. And then May's a tough month as well. So towards the end of the season, we've got a tough run. We need to be picking up as many points as possible over the next few months. But I think they'll sit back with the low block, be aggressive, try and counter us with a high line, make it difficult. We've just got to do our job, take our chances, as I say, with Charlison, been on really good form recently. So I'm going to go with another Richie goal. And I think we will win. I think we will manage to break them down. You know, one of the best performances this season I've seen at Goodison was from you lot. I've been very critical of Arsenal this season. I don't think we've been anywhere near as good as last season. But that sort of reminds me of a Man City performance. And it's clearly what Arteta's been trying to do in other games, but it hasn't worked. But just completely controlled the game, didn't allow them to have a shot. If we can do that and get a win, I'll be very happy. But I'm going with the 1-0 Spurs. I think it won't be easy against Sean Dyche. I mean, I do love Dyche, though. It's great when you get managers now in the league that are just like genuine blokes you can sit down and actually have a chat to, and he can have a bit of banter, he can take it and give it, obviously with the gravel jokes and stuff about his voice. And yeah, it'll make it difficult for us tomorrow, Dyche, but I think we will break them down and get the win.
No, for sure. And yeah, mate, you make a great point. Obviously, yeah, we actually played very well in the Goodison Park game against Everton. So, and the crazy thing is as well, if you do beat Everton, because you played before us, right? You beat Everton, you go joint points with Arsenal, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the same points. It's crazy how tight this Premier League season really is. I mean, even Aston Villa, they beat Sheffield United. Then us three, we're going to be joint third,
It's
all
crazy.
on the same points. It's absolutely crazy.
They
But
would have actually gone top of the league. They would have gone top of the league if they would have beaten Sheffield United at the time, because we drew to Liverpool.
yeah,
they would have been top at Christmas.
yeah.
Oh my god,
It's crazy. This league.
I couldn't imagine
this
the amount
Premier
of
League
backlash
Yeah.
they would have given to Arteta. Oh, look at Emery's top of the league. You shouldn't have sacked him. My arse.
Mate, we are not gonna talk about Emery. We're not gonna get into the debate about
Yeah.
Emery.
Good evening. He's
I know
doing
what's
a great
happened to him
job at Villa.
recently.
A
I know
very
what's
different
happened.
story at Arsenal, but
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah. Look, guys, I've literally got to bounce in about 10 minutes, so we're gonna quickly move on to the final topic: Arsenal, Liverpool. I want to get thoughts from Robbie as a rival fan, of course, looking into this game. Is this game a title decided for you, bro? If Arsenal were to win this game, can you see them go and win the whole title? Or if we were to lose, is it over? What would you think, bro?
I don't think it's a title decider. I think if Liverpool win this game, though, what is that? Do they go 8 points clear of you lot? I think I can't see you coming back, to be 100% honest. When they get Salah back as well soon, I can't see Arsenal getting that 8-point gap down. I know you guys had an 8-point gap last season. Obviously, it went tits up, but I can't see getting that 8-point gap. And look, I think it will be a good game to watch. I think at the Emirates, it's an advantage. I watched the FA Cup game. I thought you guys were actually the better team that just didn't take your chances. But being a little bit more clinical in recent games than you were in that spell when you played teams like West Ham, Liverpool. Do I think Arsenal will win? No. I think 2-2 I'm going to go with. And I think that's a decent point. I think if Arsenal lose, title race is over. Draw, I think there's still a way of getting a way back into it. A win, you are right back in there. Right back in there. But I still get that feeling about Manchester City. Just one again in a week. No one's talking about it. You know, because it's against Burnley, but week after week, just picking up win after win after win after win. And all of a sudden, they'll be topping about 5 or 6 weeks, I reckon, and probably win it again. But yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I think both teams, I'd say, obviously, you've got missing Partey, Tim, which you have done for the whole season. They're missing Salah. But I think Liverpool were just on better form. As I say, I think it'll be a tight game. I think at the Emirates, yeah, I'm going to go with 2-2. I'm going to go with 2-2. I think your defence recently has impressed me. And I'll tell you a player, right, who I don't understand the criticism he gets, Gabriel. I think Gabriel's been really solid for you. That Crystal Palace game especially, I don't think he's quite on the level of Saliba, but I don't understand the amount of slack he gets from Arsenal fans, as I say, because you've got to, you know, even I've got to admit, Saliba's a very good defender. World class, I'm not sure yet, but he's top level in the Premier League, one of the best in the league. So to partner him and do as good as a job as Gabriel does, I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. But as I said, I can see it being a tight game, 2-2. If anyone's going to win it, I think Liverpool might win it. But as I say, without Mo Salah, will they be as clinical away from home? I'm not too sure. I'm sure Nunes will get chances. Depends whether he finishes them, though. I'm going to go with 2-2.
That's absolutely facts about Gabriel, by the way, bro. Yeah, absolutely spot on there. He's so underrated. Yeah, bro, absolute facts there. But yeah, you got 2-2. That was funny enough. I did my previous day and I went with that exact same score as well. I do see us drawing the game. And as you said as well, man, you know, that FA Cup game, we had Havertz up front and they missed a bunch of sitters. That first half, we dominated them, never took our chances. That's been a big thing with Arsenal this season is the end products in the final third has not been good enough. And against Liverpool in this game, you had to take your chances. So, well, we're waiting to see, man. But I've gone 2-2 as well. But Rory, bro, how you feeling going into this game against Liverpool at the Emirates, man?
You know what? I've got a funny feeling about this weekend. I feel like we're actually gonna, do something. Look, I think if we do lose, I think that's a wrap out here. I don't think we're gonna end up catching Liverpool and Man City, considering the fact it is technically a 3-horse race, and all we've got to play for in the Premier League, if we do lose, is top 4. So that's not going to be ideal. So I think the only competition, if we end up losing the game against Liverpool at the weekend, is the Champions League, really. And that's highly unlikely because there's like 4 teams that are better than us in the Champions League. But you never know. I am hearing, obviously, we know that Salah could be out. Although, as I said, I'm not, trusting Klopp. I'm not buying into any of these mind games. I only believe like when I see the team lineups. That's for sure. But I'm also hearing that Nunes could be out because I don't know, he had a swollen foot or something after the Chelsea game. I don't know, but that's what I was hearing. Jurgen Klopp said in his press conference that Núñez could be out for the game, which I guess could be a plus for Arsenal, because I think Núñez has been very good this season. He's scored 10 goals and he's tallied 11 assists, which is really good for him. But is he an out-and-out striker? Not really. And if he does play up top for the Arsenal game, depending on whether he's fit, then yeah, maybe you can say we'll get the let off. But say if he does play on the left-hand side, he could be a problem. I can't lie. And obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm sure, is going to be starting, although that Connor Bradley, I mean, I don't know what's happened to him. Yeah, I don't know who's bloody drugged him, but I'm telling you now, that's 2 games in a row now where he has looked really, really good. I believe he came on in the FA Cup fixture against us, if I'm not mistaken, and he looked really good as well. I felt like, when Martinelli first came on, he was terrorising Trent. And the moment Bradley came on, he actually locked him up fairly well. So I don't know whether Trent is actually going to start the game. I mean, maybe a midfield slot for him, which again could be another problem because we always get caught with them balls over the top. So look, I don't know. Obviously, Robertson's going to be back for them. I'm pretty sure he's going to be starting as the fullback, and it's basically, the battle of the 2, best defenses in the league. So it's going to be interesting. It could be a similar, scenario to the Man City game where both teams cancel each other out and someone nicks it at the end. It could be, because obviously, it wasn't the best game to watch, Arsenal Man City, if you were a neutral. But as an Arsenal fan, the moment that goal went in, it's just a sigh of relief. It felt like the mental block got removed because of that victory against City. And I felt like after that game, I'm like, yes, right, go and win the league afterwards. Surely it's given us that huge mentality boost to take on teams like Liverpool, and we'll find out whether that's done the trick this weekend. Because look, if you can beat Man City at home, then surely you can, gain confidence from then until the end of the season. Because after, it's been such a bloody hoodoo for years, and, you break that hoodoo, it's just brilliant. But Liverpool, top of the league, I don't know what's going to happen. I definitely don't want to see any of this tippy-tappy bullshit. Like I saw against Nottingham Forest. I feel like Liverpool will have most of the ball, which is why I think Declan Rice will, play a big part. Because obviously in that West Ham team, he was playing in a negative, style of play. So he was more relied on defending. So I feel like Liverpool will dominate all the ball like we did on Tuesday against Nottingham Forest. But what we have to do is we have to be patient. We've got to wait for Liverpool to be vulnerable, which isn't likely nowadays, because that Klopp news that happened the other week has come at the right time, to be honest. It may have given them a motivational boost for the rest of the players. So they're going to be up for it. Hopefully we're going to be up for it as well. I mean, I'm not even going to say, whether the fans are going to be up for it, because the ballot system is just bullshit nowadays at Arsenal. So look, I'm not really expecting the Emirates to be rocking as it was last season, because it was just unbelievable. This season, oh my God, maybe that's partly the reason why we have actually fallen off so far this season, because the Emirates just has not been the same. So hopefully, because this is a big game, we're actually gonna, bring out a good atmosphere and just give our all. That's all I ask for. If we give our all, lose, you can say, right, title race is done, but at least we've actually, shown something. And if we play like we did on Sunday against Liverpool, then we've got this to look forward to. And there's a bright side to it. But if we go and get smashed, and we do what we did in the FA Cup, where we miss a ton of chances, and we lose to a team that just has not clicked all game. Because Liverpool, let's be honest, they weren't that great in that FA Cup fixture. Right, the only difference was Liverpool were more clinical than us that night, and it took only an own goal to break the deadlock. So, look, I'm hoping that we're just going to show something. I really want to humble them Liverpool fans as well. Bloody Jordan and.
Oh yeah, Nalaval, yeah.
They've been running their mouth all week about how they're going to turn us over. Oh, it would just be peak for them if we could go and turn them over ourselves in our own yard. Don't get me wrong, we have been better against Liverpool recently. The draw at Anfield last season was obviously 2-2, cracker of a game, and then the last time we faced them at the Emirates in the league, we actually won. So, look, obviously, as we mentioned at the start of the stream, Partey isn't going to be fit and ready. I think my confidence levels would have risen if Partey was going to be available. But it looks like it's going to be Havertz in that position instead, which I just don't know how I feel. Look, Smith-Rowe is obviously the better player, and he didn't really cover himself in much glory on Tuesday. I'm not saying he was bad, but there's not really much of a difference between him and Havertz in that position. I think that is the main problem in our team. So I don't think a 60% Smith-Rowe will be ready for a game against Liverpool at that sort of intensity. So I think I really don't know. I think Havertz is the only guy that we can really throw into that position and just.
What about Jorginho?
Oh yeah, Jorginho. To be fair, he actually had a really good game against City the last time he played.
I'd start him.
Yeah, why not?
He's been good all season apart from that game against us.
Yeah.
I would actually not mind him starting, but I just don't see it happening. I think it is going to be Havertz in there. And obviously, Havertz loves to have beef with Liverpool, with Trent and that. So hopefully he has that fighting spirit in his belly. But I don't know. I just don't rate Havertz in general. I really don't.
Look, I don't understand why he's gotten so much game time, to be honest. Sorry to interrupt you quickly, but Emil Smith-Rowe, I know he's been injured at times. But Emil Smith-Rowe is a quality player. For me, choosing between Havertz and Emil Smith-Rowe is like choosing to, spend the night with Margot Robbie or Susan Boyle. It's not that difficult of a choice. I'd much rather go with Emil Smith-Rowe. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a far better player.
But it's just whether he is 100% fit. Obviously, he plays 70 minutes. That's good for him. But for a game in that, intensity at home, it's going to be feisty, cagey at times. I don't know whether this game is going to be suited for a player like Smith-Rowe. Whereas Havertz, what I've been told, at least he wins his aerial duels. At least he's, 6'5". Like I saw a tweet earlier when we scored the second goal against Forest. Oh, did you see Havertz's, layoff to Saka? When the ball came across and Havertz jumped over the football. Oh wow, did you see that? He didn't interrupt playing that. He let the ball go. Like, come on, turn it in, man. It's just, I don't understand. But anyway,
you know what it is with certain fans, and we've experienced it in other players too. When you get a player that isn't very good, you want to big him up for the basics that he does. Like Chelsea when they had Timo Werner, he played a good through ball there. what he's meant to be doing. Havertz does stuff that he's meant to be doing, nothing too spectacular now. And I
Yeah.
see him getting a lot of praise. And I purely think that's because of, the season that he's had, which hasn't been great. He's had decent spells in it. He's scored a few goals, but it hasn't been great. So people see him doing like the basics well. They give him so much credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Havertz had that purple patch around November, December time, where I'm like, you know what? Starting to prove me wrong, But obviously, Chelsea fans warned us that he always has this in his game where he has a small purple patch for 2 or 3 months and then he just falls off. Look, as I said, I don't really rate him that highly, but look, I hope I'm proved wrong on Sunday.
Yeah.
If he does start, obviously, I would have preferred a Jorginho in there. Don't mean I rate him either, but at least Jorginho brings a little bit of balance in midfield rather than, a Kai Havertz. Because, look, the thing with Liverpool, right, they are very, very consistent when it comes to going behind and turning the game on its head. So I think it's important for us to go into this game, grab an early goal to settle the nerves, sort of, and then push on for a second and a third. Because, look, we all know Liverpool recently. They always love a last minute winner. So we're going to have to bury the game in the first half, if you ask me. And we just overall needs to get our attacking players clicking. Martinelli, I think, although people have said online that they would start Trossard, in my opinion, I think Martinelli should start the game due to the explosive pace that he has, and he has the license to get in behind, and he's very, very good at scoring in these big games. I think he scored against Chelsea. He scored against Liverpool 6 times, by the way. So I think he is the right player to play in that sort of game. Saka, hopefully a goal for him on Tuesday would have boosted his confidence up because, again, he's a player that's gone off the boil. But again, I don't blame him because he's been burnt out for how many games now. Jesus had a very, very good second half against Forest and a goal and an assist. But he is that Darwin Núñez stereotype, isn't he? He's that guy that will miss the easy chance, but score the harder chance. Like, I don't understand. However, I still do rate him. It's just I would move him out wide. And obviously, not for this game, 100%. There's no way I would shift Jesus out to the right, drop Saka and play Eddie through the middle. No way I'm doing that. So I think the lineup's pretty simple. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice, Havertz. In fact, I'll go Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard, and then Saka, Jesus, and then Martinelli. In terms of my score prediction, I want to say 2-1 Arsenal, but I really can see a draw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Yeah.
Like it was at Anfield.
Yeah, that's fair.
But my heart does say 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, it's going to be massive, guys. It's going to be absolutely massive. Look, guys, I've got a bounce. I've got a show literally 5 minutes time. I've got a Liverpool fan joining me for that one. But thanks to the panel who came on. Robbie, bro, just quickly shout your channel, man, and where they can find you.
Over at Lily White Lane, all types of Spurs and football content. So if you could come over and drop us a sub, it'd be hugely appreciated. But yeah, pleasure coming on. Good to see you, Laurie and Josh. And yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Big up, man, as always. Rory, bro, you got any content coming up yourself?
Yeah, I do. I've just been filming a skit today. I've got the script ready, so I'm gonna actually film that now. Actually, so
Sweet,
that
man.
should be coming out tonight.
Nice one. So, guys, take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. We should be back next Friday with this, same time, hopefully. And yeah, I'm literally live in 4 minutes time, guys. So opposition preview coming. We're joined by a Liverpool fan. We're gonna get his verdict on the game as well. So that should be good. And yeah, we're out of here. Take care, guys. Enjoy your rest of your evenings, and thanks everyone who tuned in. Cheers, guys.